Hi everyone, welcome to this video. In this video, we're going to take a look at one of the oldest exams that exists in the GRE preparation world, and that is the Big Book exams. So Big Book was way back in 90s, 92, 93, I think. Big Book was a book published officially by the GRE exam, and they had 27 tests. Now these are very old format tests, so we will not cover other sections that have since been changed, for example, analytical section, etc. But the quant section remains relevant with the caveat that these exams are slightly easier than today's exams. But still, nonetheless, this is great practice preparation. So with that intent, I am solving these tests here. So this is the first video in the series. We are going to look at Big Book Test 1. In each test, there are two sections of quant. We are going to take the first section of quant. So in all, in this series, there will be about exactly 54 videos. So this is the first video about that. Now you will see that section 3, 30 minutes, 30 questions. So without much ado, we are going to get into that. I'm not going to be so much concerned about the time factor here because I'm going to be talking and solving these questions. But yeah, you can obviously take it at your own pace. In fact, I recommend that before I get into every explanation, you pause the video and solve the question for yourself. You may even be able to do it much faster than me. All right. So with that note, let's get started. Okay, let me start from here. Quantitative comparison. Mm-hmm. All right. Okay, where is my pen? Yeah. So question number 1, column A, column B, 3 raised to 4, 4 raised to 3. Okay, so 3 raised to 4 would be 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. So that's going to be 9 times 9. So that's 81. Column B is going to be 4 times 4 times 4. That's going to be 64. Right? So 81 is greater than 64. No negative signs or anything. So pretty straightforward. The answer here is column A is bigger. Okay, let's move on. Question 2. X is equal to 2y plus 3 and y is given to be minus 2. Okay, again pretty straightforward. I just put this value in this equation. So what do I get? I get x is equal to 2y. 2y is going to be minus 4, right? Plus 3. So x is equal to minus 4 plus 3. That means x is equal to minus 1. What do I get on the left hand side? Minus 1. What do I get on the right hand side? Minus 1. So both quantities are equal. The answer is going to be C. Okay. Uh, question third. D is equal to 5.03894. All right. And box of D is the decimal expression for D rounded to the nearest thousandth. Okay. So this is a little tricky. What is rounded to the nearest thousandth? So let's first understand what is rounding. Let's say if I have a number, let me take it here, 61, and I want to round it to the nearest tenth. That means to this position. Okay, what do? I look at the next number, right? I keep this fixed. I look at the next number. If the next number is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, then I keep this number as it is. But if the next number is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, then I increase this number. So in that case, this would be 70. Let's say if this was, let's say 66, then I would have rounded it to 70. So that's exactly what we are going to do here. Just that we are going to do it for the thousandth digit, which is basically this number. Okay, so let's see 5.03894. Okay, so I keep this fixed. What do I have next? I have 9, so I'll have to round it up. That means the number I'm going to get is 5.039 and then 00. Okay, that would be D box, and this is D. Okay, now what are they asking? The number of decimal places where D and D box differ. Okay, so where do they differ? They differ here, they differ here, and they differ here. So 3 places they differ, right? Let me just clean this up. The answer is basically 3 places. Let me get rid of this. I think I should also change the color because otherwise it's difficult to tell. Let me change the color. Where is that? Let me take this color. So yeah, so here the answer is 3, here the given number is 4. 4 is greater than 3, so I get B is the answer. Column B is bigger. Let's move on. Question number 4. X plus 2y is greater than 8. Okay, if x plus 2y is greater than 8, on column 1 I have 2x plus 4y. That means this is going to be, this is exactly double of this. That's the trick here. Okay, so that means this person, this number is going to be greater than 16. Okay, and here we have 20. Now, is greater than 16 always, can we compare greater than 16 with 20? We can't really, because greater than 16 could mean 17, and we are comparing 17 and 20, in which case the answer will be B. Or greater than 16 could also mean 21, in which case the answer would be A. So we can't really determine, the answer would be D. Okay, let's move on. Question number 5. Perimeter of pentagon MNOPQ. Okay, MNOPQ. All right. Uh, MNPQ is a square of area 36. Okay, so this is, let's say this is, the sides are all A. The area is 36. That means A square, that's the area, right? A square would be 36. Then A has to be 6. Okay, so this is all 6, 6, 6, 6. What else we have? What about this triangle? This triangle is equilateral because x degrees is the measure of each angle. So that means equilateral triangle, all sides are also going to be A, correct? The base sides here is A, so these sides are also going to be A. That means they are going to be 6 and 6. So the answer here is perimeter of pentagon is going to be 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6. 5 times 6 is going to be 30. On the left hand side, right hand side also we have 30. So here the answer is going to be C. Okay, let's move on. P and Q are different prime numbers. All right. Could be any prime numbers, 2, 3, 2, 5, anything. Okay, R is the least prime number greater than P. Okay, and S is the least prime number greater than Q. Okay, so we have a P, we have a Q, they are all prime, both prime numbers. Okay, and R is the least prime number greater than P. That means R is the next prime number after P, correct? That's the next prime number. And same thing here, S is the next prime number after Q. Okay, so what are they comparing now? R minus P, that means the difference here, and S minus Q, that means the difference here. Okay, so let's take an example. Let's take 2 and 3. What is the next prime number after 2? That would be 3. Next prime number after 5 would be 5. The difference would be 1 here, the difference would be 2 here. Okay, in that case we get this relationship. Okay, but note that we could have also started with 3 and 2, same numbers, just that order could have been different. They have not given us anything about P and Q, whether P is bigger, Q is bigger, we don't know. So I could have taken the same numbers, I would have gotten the same numbers as the result also, but in that case the answer would have been different, correct? Right, so we can't really determine because they have not told us which of these original prime numbers P and Q, which of them is bigger. We can't really figure it out, so answer is going to be D. Okay, let's move on to this question now. Question number 7. Okay, modulus of m is equal to minus m. Okay, sorry, modulus of minus 3 is equal to minus m. Right, so what is modulus of minus 3? Absolute value of 3 minus 3, that's going to be 3. So 3 is equal to minus m. That means m is equal to minus 3. We got the value of m. So here we have m, so that's minus 3. Here we have 3, so that's 3. Right, which one is bigger? Obviously 3 is bigger, so the answer here is going to be column B. Okay, question number 8. N is an even integer and a multiple of 3. Let's think about an even integer that's a multiple of 3. If it's a multiple of 3, it has to be in 3's table. So let's see, 3 is not even. 6, yes, 6 is even. Next is going to be 9, 9 is not even. 12 is even. So the pattern basically is like this: 6, 12, 18, 24, 30. Okay, let's say I've written down 5 numbers. Okay, what do I have to do with that now? The remainder when n, that means any of these, is divided by 12. Okay, so let's find out the remainder when these numbers are divided by 12. Here the number is, remainder is going to be 6, right? Here the number remainder is 0. Here again the remainder is 6. This is 0. here remainder is 6, right? uh, it depends which number we are talking about. If it is the even number, but it's like the alternate evens, you know, these are alternate evens, there the remainders is 0. For other alternate, the remainders are 6. So we don't really know. uh, can we compare? In one case it is 6 versus 6, in which case the answer would be C. In one case it would be 0 and 6, answer would be B. Can't really determine, so answer is B. Okay, let's look at question number 9. Equilateral triangle PQR is formed by joining centers P, Q, R of the circles. Okay, so these are circles and they are equilateral triangle. Okay, each pair of circle exactly touches exactly one point in common. Okay, so there's only one point here, one point here, one point here, one point here. Okay, what can we tell about this figure? It's a pretty standard figure, right? This is an equilateral triangle. So let's say the side is 2x, right? This is 2x dx. Why am I taking 2x? Because I would like to split this. There's this middle point, right? So let's say the radius r. Let's start here. This is r. Let's say this is pp. Okay, and this is q. Let's assume, right? Why is this q? Because they are the two radii of the circle with the center at r, and same logic here. Okay, and we know that p plus r, which is one side of the triangle, is the same as p plus q, right? These two I'm comparing. That means r has to be equal to q, right? And you do the same logic 3 times and you will realize that p is equal to q is equal to r. Correct. If p is equal to q is equal to r, uh, we realize that this point has to be the midpoint. Correct. Midpoint of each of these. Okay, that much we know, but we haven't gotten into the question. And obviously this is an equilateral triangle, so all these angles are going to be 60 60 60. Okay, so that's okay. Equilateral triangle PQR is formed by joining. Okay, we read that, fine. Let's look at what is there in column A. The perimeter of triangle PQR. The perimeter of triangle PQR is going to be 6p, correct? 6 times the radius. Why? Because 1 2 3 4 5 6, 6 times the radius of any circle. Okay, so that is 6p. The circumference of circle with center q. Circumference of circle with center q. Okay, so here this is going to be, what is circumference of a circle? 2 pi r. Okay, so this is 2 pi r. R basically p, because p q are all same. Okay, 2 pi the radius. What is 2 pi? 2 pi is going to be, pi is 3.14, so 2 pi is going to be 6.28 r. So on B side I have 6.28 radius, and on column A side I have 6 radius, so the answer has to be B, right? Okay, let's look at question 10. The volume of a cylindrical tank. Okay, let me draw a cylindrical tank. The volume of this tank that has a radius of 2 meters. Okay, 2 meters is the radius, and height of 10 meters. What's going to be that volume? Volume is going to be area at the base into height. So area of the base is pi r square, that is 4 pi, correct? And height, so that's going to be basically 40 pi. Okay, what do I have here? The volume of cylindrical tank that has a radius of 1 meter. Okay, so here the radius is 1 and the height is 20. Okay, so again same thing, pi r square, that's going to be only pi, right? But the height is going to be 20, correct? So this is going to be 20 pi. Obviously we have column A is bigger. Okay, you could have also done intuitively. How? Because see, the radius is half, right? And in area, what term we have? Radius square, correct? So if there is something half of the radius, the area of that is going to be 4 times smaller, right? But the height here is only 2 times bigger. That means the increase in height is not actually compensated for the reduction in radius. Okay, so that's a logical way to do. That means for the second figure, the volume is not going to be second figure, the volume is going to be half of the first figure. Okay, if this was 40 here, I'm getting some reduction in radius and equal compensation I'm getting in height 4 times, right? In that case, the volumes would have been equal. Correct. So logically also you could do it. You don't have to do it that way. The simpler method is always to do the calculation and just move on. All right, so let's look at question 11 now. Time required. Okay, ds is not equal to 0. All right, I don't know what d is. I don't know what s is. Fine, ds is not equal to 0. What does that mean? That means none of these individually. D is not equal to 0 and s is also not equal to 0. Okay, the time required to travel d miles at s miles per hour. Okay, now some people find it really confusing. The easiest way is to pick numbers and find it out. So let's say d miles. Let's say I have to go 200 miles. Okay, I'm just picking simple numbers at s miles per hour at 100 miles per hour. Okay, how long will it take if I'm traveling at 100 miles per hour? How long will it take for me to cover 200 miles? Okay, obviously it will take me 2 hours. So let's here 2 hour is my answer here. Okay, same numbers I'm going to take on the right hand side also so that I can do the comparison. The time required to travel d by 2 miles, that means now I have to go 100 miles, okay, at 2s miles per hour. 2s, what was my s? 100. So 2s was going to be 200 miles per hour. Okay, right? How long is it going to take me now? I'm traveling at 200 miles per hour and I have to cover only 100 miles. So it will take me only half an hour. Earlier it used to take me 2 hours. Now I have to take half an hour. So the answer is going to be A, right? Also logically you can do, see here, compare these. I'm going half the distance. In the second case, I'm going half the distance and I'm going twice fast also. Okay, so I have to cover half the distance and I have to run faster. So obviously I'll take less time, right? So answer, I mean, column B has to be a small number. That's the logical way to do. Okay, but again, you can just do it pure math. Okay, let's move on. Question 12. Triangle RST is isosceles. Okay, interesting. RST. Which two are angles are similar? Which two sides are similar? I don't know. Okay. Uh, Angle RST is 40. RST angle is 40. Okay. This is 40. But again, I don't know which two sides are equal. Okay. There are again different possibilities. Before we even get into column A, what are those possibilities? One is, let's say RST, right? So S angle is 40. One could be R and S are similar, right? 40, 40, and this is going to be 100. That is one possibility. The other possibility is S and T are equal, and this is 100. Okay, RST. Those are the only two possibilities, right? Okay. Okay. Now the sum of measures of two angles of RST that have equal measure. Okay, sum of measure of equal RST that have equal measure. Okay, in fact there is another possibility, I missed that, right? So this is 40, that's fine, but what if other two angles are the same? 40 is not the common angle. Let's say this is 70 and this is 70 and this is 40. 70 plus 70, 140, and this is 40. That's also possible, right? Interesting. This is an interesting question. Okay, so there are three possibilities. It's important to observe that. Now let's look at the question. The sum of measures of two angles of RST that have equal measure. So here this is 40 40. We're talking about these two 40 40. So sum would be 80. In the other possibility again 40 40, the sum would be 80. But in the third possibility, which is a tricky one, the sum is 70 plus 70, 140. Okay, this possibility we should not miss because that's where the game is, because we need to compare that with 120. So obviously in two cases we get a different answer. In the third case we get a different answer. We can't really determine. The answer is B. It's a slightly tricky question. Okay, we tend to assume that 40 is the common angle given, but there is no information given in that regard. Okay, cool. Let me just remove this a little bit for the next question. All right, question 13. Under root x square plus 6x square plus 9. Okay, this is a little complicated to understand. X square plus 3. All right. Uh, let me just hmm, let me just square this. Let's see, because see there is a 3 square 9 x square, then there's x raised to 4. So I think it might be easier if I can get similar terms on this side. Also, one indication is that there is an under root. Okay, so obviously they don't want you to do find out the root of this. Instead of that, let's just compare it with the square of column B. Okay, so square of this is going to be x raised to 4 plus 2 times 3 times x square plus 3 square, that is 9. Okay, so what do we have here? X raised to 4 plus 6x square plus 9. Okay, which is exactly what we have here. X square, x raised to 4 plus 6x square plus 9, just that is under root. So essentially both the quantities are the same. Okay, it looks a little scary when it is under root and everything, right? But essentially they are all same. Okay, let's move on to question 14. Okay, there is this diagram. O is the center of the circle, all right, and angle AOC is right angle. AOC is right angle. Okay, AOC is right angle. AOB, this is 44, so that means this has to be 46. Okay, I like that number 44 because that's very close to 45. I think there is going to be some logic related to 45-degree angle kind of a thing. Okay, this is 46. This is also given to be 90, so this is going to be 44. Okay, so if I look at this triangle, just for the sake of simplicity, I'm drawing it again. What do I have? This is 90 degree. This is 46, slightly more than 45. This is 44, slightly less than 45. Okay. What do we have? OD. Okay, they are asking this OD line versus BD line. Okay. So in this triangle, which side is bigger? Okay, obviously the side against the bigger angle will be bigger, so BD is going to be bigger. BD is going to be bigger, so answer is going to be B. Let's move on. Question 15. Before Maria changed jobs, her salary was 24% more than Julio's salary. Okay, so let's say this is before Maria changed job, salary and Julio's salary. Let's say Julio's salary was 100x, Maria's salary was 24% more, so 124x. Okay, or you could just do x or 1.24x also, that's also fine. Okay, after Maria changed jobs, so that is after now, her salary, new salary was 24% less than her old salary. Okay, so that means it was 24% less, 0.76 of 124x. Okay, and I have to compare Julio's salary, that is 100x, with Maria's new salary, that means this 100x. Right, now you could do the calculation, but there is a logical way to do it. See, you should observe that this 24 is the same. Okay, so first Maria's salary is going from 100 to 100 plus 24%. Okay, and now it is coming down 24%. So with respect to 100, where will it be? Right, forget about 24. Let's take example of 50%. Earlier something was 100, it increases by 50%, it becomes 150. Now it reduces by 50%. What does Where does it go? It becomes 75. Okay, it doesn't become 100, it becomes 75. Why is there a bigger reduction this time? That's because the base is bigger, right? So same thing would happen with 24 also, right? Even if I don't do the calculation, 100 I get 124, right? But now 124 base is bigger than 100, so the 24% of that 124 is going to be more than 24. That means this number has to be something less than 100. Okay, you can do the calculation and figure out, right? So this number is less than 100. That means Maria's new salary is in fact lower than Juliet's salary. So the answer here is going to be A, right? Again, a fairly logical question, but a tricky question. See, the numbers are not going to be very difficult. So even if you don't get that logic, it may still be possible for you to just do a simple multiplication and get it. Not really rocket science, but yeah, it's better to have that logical clarity because that will help you on tougher questions also. Okay, let's move on. Question 16. Very straightforward this one looks. Okay, let's see, 19 minus 18 minus 17 minus 16. Okay, minus 20. Now I'm going inside this bracket which is starting with minus, so I'll have to flip the numbers, sorry, flip the signs. Plus 19 plus 18 plus 70. Okay, I'm lucky that this some of these things are getting cancelled. Okay, what do I have here? 19 plus 19, 38, minus 16 minus 20. Okay, so that's basically uh, this is 36, right? So answer is going to be 2. Correct? The answer is going to be 2. Answer is E. Okay, question 17. If 3x minus 2 is equal to 7, then 4x is what? 3x minus 2 is 7. So that means 3x is equal to 7 plus 2, that's 9. That means x is equal to 3. So 4x is equal to 12. Answer E. Okay, let's move on. Which of the following is closest to the third root of 30? Now, obviously, they don't want you to find out third root of 30. Right? Similar question we did earlier also, where you did the square of column B instead of taking the square root of column A. So same thing we'll do here. We'll take the cube of these numbers and compare that to 30. Okay, let's start with a smaller number. So that it's easier. Cube of 2 is going to be 2 into 2 into 2, that's 8. Cube of 3 is going to be 27. Okay, we are already close to 30. Cube of 4 is going to be 4 into 4 into 4 is 64. Okay, and we are done. We don't even have to find out cube of 5 and 6 because we want the closest, right? The closest is this fellow, closest to 30. So the answer has to be D. Right, so you'll see that there is quite a bit of logic in these questions. Okay, uh, okay, there's a graph now. Interesting. The dots on the graph above indicate age and weight. Okay, so this is age 15, age 16, 17, etc. Okay, and weight in pounds. Okay, uh, right. Indicate age and weight for sample 25 students. Okay, so there are 25 dots. This first dot is age 16 something and he weighs 108 or something. Okay, then this dot basically talks about 15 and a half age and he weighs 120 pounds, something like that. Okay, and there are 25 such dots. Let's calculate. I'm sure they are going to be 25, but just to verify, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Okay. I think I more counted one, but yeah, this is 25. Okay. What percentage of the students are less than 19 years old? Okay, less than 19. That means I need these guys. Okay, and more than 110 pounds. More than 110. So basically, I need these fellows in this box. Okay. All right. So there's how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 folks out of 25. Correct. So that's 36%. All right. Okay. Let me just get rid of this because that is going to be, otherwise it will be very cluttered for the next question. Okay. Uh, let's move on to the next one. The greatest number of diagonals. Okay. There's only one question on the graph. Great. The greatest number of diagonals that can be drawn from one vertex of a regular six-sided polygon. Okay. Let's first draw a regular six-sided polygon. This is regular six-sided polygon. Okay, obviously it's not drawn to scale, but greatest number of diagonals that can be drawn from one vertex. Let's say this vertex. How many diagonals can I draw? 1, 2, 3, right? These two are not diagonals. From one vertex, I can draw how many lines? 5 lines because it's a hexagon, right? But how many of those are diagonals? 2 of them will be sides. So the diagonals are only 3. The greatest number is going to be 3. Okay, let's move on. All right, let's look at these questions now. Question 21 to 25 based on these graphs. Let's study the graphs. Average daily circulation. Okay, that means number of newspapers in thousands for a particular newspaper in these 5 years. Okay, 100,000 in 1940, 470,000 in 1950, and so on. Okay, Total yearly advertising revenue, ad revenue, so that has to be in dollars, millions of dollars. All right, always note the unit. For the same newspaper, 1940 it was $7 million, 1960s was $52 million, etc. Okay, both these graphs are similar, as in whenever there is an increase here, there is an increase here. Whenever there is an decrease here, there is a decrease here. So that's great. The only observation I have is that the decrease is very dramatic for circulation, not so dramatic for advertising revenue. Okay, and the number of pages, average number of pages for the same years, 30, for 55, 88. Okay, again similar kind of a graph. The only thing is that here there was a decrease in both the first two graphs. Here there is an increase. Okay, but what do I have? This is numbers. The unit is numbers, pages, ad revenue, and circulation. Okay, let's look at the questions. In how many of the years showed was the average number of pages? That means the third graph, number of pages uh, per newspaper, at least twice as much as the average in 1940. Okay, so what is the average in 1940? The average is 30. Twice that average is 60. In how many of the other years was this average beaten? 88, 70, 74. 3 years the average circulation was greater than twice the average of 1940. So 3 should be the answer. That would be 3. Okay. In 1950, if the printing cost per newspaper was 5 cents, okay, what is the printing cost? The cost to print. Do we have any reference here? We don't have any reference for printing cost. The only cost kind of reference here is in revenue, dollars. Okay, so this is new information for us. 5 cents was 1950. Okay, let's note the number also, the year also. 5 cents was the printing cost. What would have been the total cost of printing the average daily circulation? Okay, so in 1950 there were 470,000. Okay, note this thousand. 470,000 newspapers printed. Each of them cost 5 cents. What was the total cost? Okay, so let's write down the whole number. 470,000,000, right? So these two get cancelled, these two get cancelled. So what do I have? 4700 into 5. So that is 00523. Correct? 23,500. Correct? 23,500. Perfect. Okay. 1980, the number of dollars of ad revenue, 1980 ad revenue was how many times as great as the average daily circulation? Okay. So let's go to 1980. 1980 number of dollars was 36 million. Okay. 36, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 36 million was how many times as average circulation? That is 180,000. 180,000. 1, 2, 3. 0, 0, 0 cross, 0, 0, 0 cross, one more cross, one more cross. Okay, this is 200. Very straightforward. 200. Okay, all right. Question 24. The percent decrease in average daily circulation from 1960 to 1970 was what percentage? Okay, let's see. 1960 circulation was 650. It went down to 440. What was the absolute decrease of 210 on the base of 650? So this much percentage decrease. Okay, so you will see that this is about one third of the number. Correct? 3 times of 3 times of 210 would be 630. So this is somewhere close to that. You can find out the exact number, but the answer is going to be something like 33% or lower than that. Okay, because the base is bigger than 630, right? So something like 32, 33%. Okay, let's see. 32% is the only close answer choice. So that's the answer choice. Okay, which of the following statements can be inferred from the data? Okay, so this is going to be a little time consuming because I'll have to deal with 3 pieces, but let's see. The greatest increase in total ad revenue for any 10-year period was 27 million. Is that true? Let's see. Ad revenue, what was the increase here? 7 to 25, the increase was 18. 25 to 52, the increase was 27. And then there was no increase, right? So the greatest increase was 27. That's correct. Okay. So this is true. Each of the 10-year period shown in which yearly ad revenue decreased. Okay, there were 2 years in which it decreased, right? Out of the last 3 years, that is, it decreased here and then it decreased here. Okay, the average daily circulation also decreased. That is true. We have already made that observation. Whenever there was a decrease here, there was a decrease here also. Correct? That's true. So let's say this is true. From 1970 to 1980, the average number of pages increased by 10. Let's see if that is true. 1970 to 1980, number of pages increased by 4 only, 70 to 74, not by 10. That means this is false. So the correct answer is 1 and 2 only, which is answer choice D. Let's look at these questions now. If 0 less than st less than 1, okay, so st is a number between 0 and 1, which are following can be true. Okay, be careful with can be, must be. In can be, I only have to find out one case where this thing holds. Okay, is it possible? This is given. Then is it possible to have a? That's what they are asking. Okay, is it possible that I have s less than -1 and t greater than 0? T greater than 0 means t is positive. S less than -1 means s is negative. Okay, is it possible that I have s negative and t positive? No. Why? Because st is going to be negative in that case. Correct. Whereas I want st to be positive as per the given information. So this is not possible. Okay. Let's look at this. S is negative. T is also negative. In that case, S and T both can be positive. That's great. Okay, but they both have to also be less than 1. Okay, let's look at that condition later. Let's first find out if we can eliminate some answer choices just based on positive and negative. So let's keep this for a while. S is greater than -1. It could be negative, it could be positive, so we'll not be able to decide. So let's keep this also. S is greater than 1, that means S is positive. T is less than -1, that means T is negative. St is going to be negative in that case, so this is not possible. S is greater than 1, T is greater than 1, both are positive. Product is also going to be positive. So positive, negative, if you do the analysis, we get 3 remaining answer choices. Okay, but now let's put the other condition. Let's look at the other condition, that is both of them, the product has to be less than 1. Okay, so here let's see, this is going to be a bigger number. This is going to be okay, both of them are less than -1. That means let's say they are -2, -2. The product is going to be 4. Correct? In absolute value, that's going to be greater than 1. So with that possibility cannot exist because ST have to be less than 1. So this is out. Let's look at C. S is greater than -1. So it could be anything. T is less than -1. Okay. If S is less than -1, I think this is possible. There can be some number, right? Let's say S is 0.5. Okay, and T is less than okay, let's say S is minus, we want both of them to be positive, so let's take both negative numbers. S is minus 0.5 and T is minus 0.1, 0.5, and the product of that is going to be positive 0.75. Okay, so this is possible. Okay. If you can't pick up this number, just keep moving on, because this is as much a game of elimination as selection, right? So some other answer choice will get eliminated because of some other reason, and even if you are not convinced with one remaining answer choice, you can still answer this question. For example, here S is greater than, this was a little tricky to evaluate, but this is fairly straightforward. E, S is greater than 1, T is greater than 1. If both of them greater than 1, the product is going to be greater than 1, right? Which is not possible. Okay, so this has to be ruled out. So the answer here will be C. Okay. Sometimes picking numbers requires you to have uh, some understanding of edge cases and all that. Sometimes you just know that this has to be a big number, this has to be less than, this has to be a positive number, this has to be a negative number, or this number has to be greater than 1, this has to be less than 1, those kind of things. Okay, so there is possible that you miss out some of those cases and you don't get it, but just focus on elimination and you will get it. Okay, because there are going to be 3 or 4 other cases that are easy to eliminate. Okay, let's look at 27. On segment WZ, if WY is 21, where is WY? WY is 21. Okay, let's first say ABC. Let's make it easy. Okay, so WY is 21 means A plus B is equal to 21. XZ, X to Z, that means B plus C. B plus C is 26. All right, and YZ is twice WX. What is YZ? YZ is twice WX. So this is twice or thrice? Okay, twice. So this is 2A. Okay, C is equal to 2A basically. If that is the case, then I can always rewrite this as B plus 2A is equal to 26. And I know B plus A is 21, B plus 2A is 26, right? So A plus B is 21. I add one more A, I get 26. So that means A has to be 5. Correct? Or you can do it uh, simultaneous equation way and you will find it also. Okay, what is the value of xy? Xy is b, which is b is 16, right? Okay, you can always plug the numbers back in and verify, but b is 16. Okay, let's look at question 28. To reproduce an old photograph, a photographer charges x dollars to make a negative, 3x by $5 for each of the first 10 prints. Okay, so the total cost is going to be x for negative, then 3x by 5 for 10, first 10. Okay, and x by 5, which is charging less for additional for each in addition of 10. Okay, each 10 plus. Okay, I'm just writing this in short form. Okay, uh, if $45 is the total charge to make a negative of 20 prints, what is the value of x? So let's say basically the equation is 45 is equal to x plus 3x 10 by 5, right? Plus, if I'm doing 20 prints, I have 10 extra prints after the first 10, right? So that is 10 x by 5, correct? This is each, that means this is 10, the additional ones. Okay, so 45 is equal to x plus, this is going to be 6x, this is going to be 2x. Okay, so 45 is how many x's? So this is 9x. So x is equal to 5. X is equal to 5. Correct? Is that what they are asking? What is the value of x? X is equal to 5. Perfect. Always verify the question. Sometimes they may ask something else. What is the value of negative only, which is x? But what is the value of the first 10 prints? So that would be this. Okay, so always verify the question. The answer is going to be 5 here. Okay, let's move on to question 29. Which of the following is equal to 1/4 of 0.01%? Okay, let's first write down what is 0.01%. 0.01% is, what is 5%? 0.05, correct? So 5 divided by 100. So we are basically dividing it by 100. So this is this part, 0.01%. 1/4 of that. 1/4 of that is this. Simple, right? Let's just get rid of these decimals. So what do I get? I get, let's multiply by 100. Okay, so I get 1 in the numerator. I get 400 and 0, 0. Okay, like that. This is going to be a little complicated. Okay, and I see that all the answer choices are in 0.25. So let me just convert this into 0.25 in the beginning itself, so that I don't deal with division, but I deal with multiplication. So basically what I'm saying is, instead of writing 1/4, I'll write 0.25, and then I will write 0.1 divided by 100. Okay, sorry, 0.01. Okay, so what does that mean? That means 0.25 divided by 100, 0. So this decimal point I have to move 4 places to the left. So that means 2, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, then decimal point and then 0. So this is the answer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 25. 1, 2, 3, 4, 25. Answer A. Alright. Okay, let's move to the last question. In the figure above, okay, PQR, each of the 4 squares, okay, these are 4 squares, alright, has length of side x. These are all x, 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 x. All right. If PQR is formed by joining the centers of three squares, so these are the centers. Okay, if these are the centers, this angle is going to be 90 degrees, right? Otherwise the squares will not fit together. And this is going to be x by 2, this is going to be x by 2, again x by 2, x by 2, right? And these are 45 degrees angles. Okay, so basically the diagram is like this. This is x, this is x. Okay, uh, what is the perimeter of PQR in terms of x? PQR perimeter is this plus this plus this. So this is going to be x root 2, right? 45, 45, 90. You can do Pythagoras. If you don't know that, you can do x square plus x square and take the root of that. That's the root of 2x square root 2x. Okay. Uh, and the perimeter. So x plus x plus x root 2. That means 2x plus x root 2. That's my answer. Okay. Do I have an answer choice like that? 2x plus x root 2. Yes. I see that there's another answer choice here also, but be careful. We need an x with that root. Okay. So answer here is 30. So hope you got some practice out of this. Like I said, many of these questions are fairly straightforward, but it's still a good practice. What I like about these tests is that they are not they're not checking two or three concepts together. They are checking only one concept. So if you get something wrong, you know exactly where you need to improve, right? So from that point of view, there is a lot of value in these tests, right? So I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.